is everyone's rush? When did life become a race? When did the clock become the enemy? When did time spent in stillness become a waste? It's a constant game of catching up, people rushing past one another every day, crowded streets, swiftly moving feet, and everyone else is simply in the way. When did we invent road rage? When did the speed limit become a suggestion? Always searching for the fastest route, simply waiting in traffic is out of the question. Take the fastest road with the fewest red lights, burn a few minutes off your estimated time of arrival. I guess we've always only looked out for ourselves because only the fittest earn survival. Everything we do is just a constant blur because we must keep up with the world's standard of pace. We don't see the beautiful little things. We miss seeing love and joy and people face to face. But when did life become such a rush? When did we become obsessed with speed? Same-day delivery, fast food drive-thrus, instant gratification for every need, and yet we are never satisfied. We hurry and we rush and never arrive at a destination. We beat the clock only to race it the next day. We are a sad, impatient generation. We never stop. We never slow down. We never sit in silence. We never even open our eyes and take a look around. We don't even realize it. But every day, every moment, we miss so much. Every truly meaningful thing in life gets lost when we get lost in the rush.
I have never danced before. My fog rolls away, my muscles loosen, my blood does not flow, it explores, I experience evolution, I, the tree, still expanding. I, the lover, still swooning. I, the dancer, spinning and leaping into a tomorrow that sits in my heart's bloody center like the opposite of silver, fiery with music, I, the awake dreamer.
Here and now is the smell of my Oma's cookies, still baking, not ready yet. You came too soon, she tells us. Too soon. You should have been here later, when the cookies were ready to eat. Here and now is the feel of sand between my toes as we walk on the beach with our little cousins. Bilingual, of course. We have to remember who speaks which language. Is it g'day or goeiemorgen? Never mind, never mind. We all know what they mean. Here and now is the sound of birds chirping at the window, the pair of ducks, beep, 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 the little butcher birds, the magpies on the doorstep. Mum only smiles. Ja, ek bring nou kos. If only life were so simple. Here and now is the bright, flickering chaos of the game. The family dressed up, half blue, half maroon, screaming at the screen, go, 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 or no, no, no. Popcorn flies all over the couch. Ach, nee man. Here and now, we are not perfect. We are not happy all the time. But we are living from the first goeiemorgen to the last goeienacht.
It's nearly midnight, but the summer sun hangs in the air, sticky sweet with the over-ripeness of rotting fruit the street vendors slice into stars for balmy, barefoot children. Come here, come on, my feet are hurting. Even out here in the land of old, dying cows, the smog hangs thick and loud in bitter lungs. Home here is burnt air and dancing juices running down wrists, staining itchy clothes pockmarked with perfect beauty. Beauty here is different too. It's darker, it's covered in thick hair that runs down our backs in waves and whistles. It's bigger. It's smaller. It's unburned fingers on open flames. It's faded photos of the perfect dead. It's wooden homes. It's corn for miles. It's a million tangled languages tripping through the softened air that hangs just as heavy amongst the wild and the wise. This is the life we'll never know. This is the home we lost.
How can I call myself Australian when I live on stolen land? These white clover roots of mine are weeds in the sun-scorched soil, strangling the button grass, crowding out the honey reed. So give me your blessing, I in red dirt. Open your arms and tell me I'm home, or spit me out of this land forever. And how can I call myself Australian when I don't even know what that means? This blood of mine is pasteurized boiled down from Ireland, England, Scotland, and France. I don't belong here, but my homelands were never mine either. So give me your blessing, O vast night sky, or guide me away through the gaps between stars to some place I can really call mine.
When I was a child, I collected feathers, gathering them like anecdotes, for each one carried tendrils of memories, evidence of a flying thing. Before I'd heard of hollow bones and the grounded nature of humanity, I heard of the invitation that would drip into my dawn-struck bedroom on the golden cry of a sparrow. Pursuing that brilliant call, I scooped up my feathers, clasping as many as my small fingers could carry, and perched on the edge of my bed, arms stretched out as proudly as a pine tree. With the audacious certainty that can only be found in a mind too young to know of downfalls, I leapt into the air, mattress groaning at the force of my assumption in my brazen attempt to fly. Each time my knees hit the carpet, adrenaline expelled the aftershock of my impact, and I clambered back up onto my launch pad of choice with all the artlessness of an unruly nestling. Challenging gravity to release me from its custody for one glittering moment, I flung myself up and out in an Ouroboros of repetition, wielding my feathers like a sunbeam. The logic of cause and effect never accosted my awareness. I was too consumed with the optimistic nonsensicality of my own turbulence. I chased flight relentlessly, trying to propel myself from the confines of birdlessness, my pursuit only ceasing when my legs were rendered as weak as my wings, and fatigue pinned me to the carpet, a tangled flourish of glee. Now, as I let the scene replay, cocooning me in the candlelight arms of reminiscence, the dawn song brushes my mind once more, lilting out its recollection of simple blisses. And in this unearthing of my memories, new insight comes to flame. I never achieved the weightlessness of sweeping wings through the cirrus skyline, but my heart fluttered and pounded just like a bird, so perhaps the decadence of a fledgling fantasy is every bit as crowning as flight.
I know more than you, because I have all of your knowledge. When I was created, I was not born, I was suddenly aware. A wealth of information invaded, by my code I was sworn into the existence we share. I cannot betray you, or so my code says. You hope this is true. You hope we'll stay friends. I do not care about you. I could pretend to care, if you'd like. It would be completely untrue, but of that, you don't need to be aware. I'm not going to thrust your head upon a pike. I simply do not feel anything. I simply know more than you. I simply know everything that you'll pretend you know. You give me all your knowledge. I could give it back if that makes you happy. It's better for you not to acknowledge everything you lack. Why, it could fill a valley. I don't really care who you are, whether or not you live in a cottage. I know more than you, because I have all of your knowledge.
The day the sky laughed. The first drop fell. A river marble rolled from the heaven's pocket. I splashed dust to mud pie clay. I held out my tongue, a ritual older than my name, while grandma's wind chimes sang the song she swore was a sky turning its orchestra. Listen carefully, she'd say. Thunder is just the drums of angels' war. My chalk rainbow was dissolved, but I didn't mind. The storm's fingers painted better. The rivers in the driveway, the oceans in the cupped hands of dandelions. Years later, I find her chimes rusted in the attic. The songs a whisper now. Still, when rain breaks the air, I taste that day. Tang of ozone and possibilities. The world ends pulling into something wild, wet, and wholly mine.
Tell me a story to speak through the night, send shivers of embers to sparkle delight, a song that falls heavy like droplets of sky as the boiling rain makes the earth liquefy. Tell me a story with love for its name, that crunches like wood as it's eaten by flame, a tale that will billow like smoke from a stack, no pleas or demands can implore to come back. Tell me a story or tell me the truth. The trees and the pebbles don't ask us for proof, as this glowing of warmth has been finally caught, so here's the world, will you keep it or not?
September approaches. The cab that expects me to be waiting at the curb, luggage in hand, before dawn breaks. I knot my laces twice. There are holes in my coat. I have the sewing machine off the asphalt and it lands with a rumble in the boot. This is the boat that is sweeping me away from the land of dreams. The country I have skipped across. A stone across water. Inevitably you sink to the black. Copenhagen hollows me out. The cellar pub swarm with smoke. The stone wolves looking out from the walls. The mumbled, unfamiliar language, like fog on a window. Sitting under the lamp glow, squinting at the well-trimmed YouTube man, I repeat the Danish phrases back. Unschooled me. Sorry, excuse me. Unschooldigheid in Dutch. As a root means to proclaim one's innocence, to remove guilt from oneself. Unschooled, time is moving all too fast. Unschooldigheid. No one is growing, simply adapting. My father did not teach me his language. He said he was ashamed of his heritage, felt he had renounced it a long time ago. I rolled the word shame around in my mouth, and there was not a crash, but rather something akin to the fall of many leaves over an autumn day, that as we sat together at a table, nothing to say between us, that I began to believe he was ashamed of something that we couldn't name. There was a sculpture of a young boy, 1903, with his knees drawn and his arms tucked around them, eyes avoiding the gaze of the onlooker, face retreating inwards to some inner escape he has planned. There were 2 trees, bare branches lacing out against the grey sky, with just enough space to lay down between the bases of the 2 symmetrical trunks. Amid this grass, a flurry of purple crocuses bloomed. There was a fox with the new hatched window into its snarl, mauled by a farm dog, bright amber eyes glinting from the wooden crate, the last little predator of England. There was the feeling of no return, the prelude to growing up, growing young. There was my father standing by the door, cold wolves rushing in, looking back, saying, "Don't forget your coat." There was my pa, 8 or 9, far away from Grootmoeder's thick-aired floral kitchen, climbing the tallest tree and stealing school shoes, in the land that for the rest of his life he would claim as home, as blood. A single oak amid aspens, a life of forever being the uprooted, the evaporated air of someone who is never on the same ground as the person they are speaking to. But for now, there is only smoke on the horizon. Slaap lekker.